Ever wish you had a sidekick? You know, one that could keep up with all your crazy tech requests and like jot down ideas you have.
Well, today we're diving into a world that might be a sneak peek into that future. We're talking real-time AI assistants.
And what better way to wrap our heads around it than to listen in on a real person actually using one of these AI assistants?
Exactly. We're talking instant weather, code on demand. The user even tries to make the AI tell jokes. And this is where it gets really interesting.
We get to hear the AI mess up too.
It's like, how far are we from a future where these things are everywhere?
For sure. So the user in this transcript, they don't hold back. It's like they're really pushing the limits. It started off pretty normal, asking about the weather in Brisbane.
And this is where things get cool. This AI doesn't just get the weather, it tells the user, like it's partly cloudy, slight chance of showers, even the temperature. It says 20.7 Celsius.
Wow.
It's wild. But then, how about something a little more, I don't know, subjective? The user goes and asks the AI to take notes on the top 10 tips to be charming. Now, we don't actually get to see the list, which is a bummer. But the AI doesn't even hesitate. It says it wrote it down.
Right. Whether it made an actual list or not, that's still pretty impressive.
Totally. It's like the AI is saying, hey, I'm not just some data robot. I get nuance too.
For sure. And to test that even more, the user starts giving it commands. Open Google, open YouTube.
Yeah, like we do that stuff without even thinking.
Totally. But for an AI, that's a huge step, right? Trying to fit into our digital world.
Totally. And here's the thing. The AI nails those commands.
Yeah.
But then the user asks it to scroll down a page.
It trips up.
It can't do it.
It's like you teach a dog all these cool tricks and then you realize it still can't even fetch.
A perfect comparison.
So this AI, yeah, it can find information, get around the web, but when it comes to actually using a web page,
Needs some work.
big time.
Wow.
And then it gets even tougher. The user tries some copy and paste commands. I mean, we do that without thinking, right?
Second nature.
For this AI, that's where it seems like things really fall apart.
And that's how we start to understand how truly complex these real-time AI things are.
It's one thing to get what we're saying, understand our commands, but to actually do them on a device.
Right. That's the real challenge. The AI might get the idea of copy and paste, but making it happen, all that behind-the-scenes stuff,
That's the tough part.
it's almost like it understands the rules of a game,
Yeah.
but it has no clue how to move the pieces on the board.
Exactly. The potential's there. The knowledge is there. But something's getting lost somewhere between the AI thinking it and actually doing it.
For sure. So yeah, web stuff, still a weak spot for our AI friend.
All right.
But can it tell a joke? Everyone wants to know that, right?
Right. And the user actually tries it out. They're like, okay, AI, make me laugh. And the first joke the AI tells, well, it's a pun. Something about a skeleton not having the guts to fight.
Yeah, not exactly stand-up comedy gold.
Definitely not. And the user, they're honest about it too. They just straight up tell the AI, not funny.
But here's the thing. The AI tries again. It tells another joke, this time about a scarecrow, like winning an award.
Okay, that one's actually kind of funny. I mean, it's not hilarious, but...
It's getting there.
Right, like it's learning.
Exactly. It's like this AI is trying to figure out how to actually talk to us, how to get humor, not just give us information, you know.
For sure. But humor is so tough to get right.
Right.
What I think is funny, you might think is like the opposite of funny.
100%. And that's a big deal here. We're pushing AI to do all this stuff. And the more it can handle those subjective things, like humor, well, that tells us a lot about how far it's come.
Totally. It's not just data and answers anymore. It's like the AI has to figure out how we see the world, and
Right.
we're complicated.
The best way to put it, it's got to bridge that gap, logic and emotion, information and like actual human experience.
And speaking of information, the user goes in a totally different direction. They start asking the AI to do research using this thing called Perplexity. It's about OpenAI and all the new stuff they're doing.
Oh yeah, Perplexity. It's like Google, but way more powerful. This AI search engine that doesn't just look for keywords.
Right. Imagine a research assistant that can actually understand what you're looking for, pull out the important bits, and then explain it to you in a way that makes sense.
Exactly. And the cool part here is that the user is basically making the AI use another AI. It's like AI teamwork.
That's wild. It's like building the ultimate AI squad, each one with its own specialty, all working together. And in the middle of all this OpenAI research, the user comes across this swarm thing.
Okay, so imagine a bunch of different AIs all working together. Like each one is an expert in something different. and they can combine their powers to get things done.
That's the swarm framework in a nutshell.
Exactly.
It's like the Justice League of AIs. Each one's got its own strengths, whether it's crunching numbers or writing code or maybe even telling the perfect joke. And that's when things get really interesting. The user starts imagining a world where everyone's got a whole team of these specialized AIs working for them.
It's like you've got an AI that's amazing at email, another one that's a scheduling whiz, and then another AI that helps you come up with creative ideas, and they all work together.
It's like having a whole squad of AIs,
Yes.
right? All working behind the scenes, making your life easier.
And it's more than just that. The user sees these AIs, these specialists, actually talking to each other, sharing information, figuring out what you need, all in real time.
Okay, so you need to write a presentation, right? You're writing AI, teams up with your research AI, then they tell your calendar AI to block off some time.
Exactly.
That is seriously next level stuff. But, and I bet you can guess what I'm going to say here, the user asks the big question, the one we're all thinking.
How much is this going to cost?
Exactly. Because let's be real, building these crazy, powerful AI systems, that can't be cheap.
Not at all.
It's like building a race car. Yeah, it's going to be fast, precise, but all the upkeep, the fuel, it adds up.
And that's the big question, isn't it? Are those benefits, is all that AI health worth the price tag? Developers, companies, even regular people, we're all going to have to figure that out.
Like anything new, right? That balance.
Yeah.
Do we want the coolest new tech? Or do we got to stay practical? Can everyone have access to this stuff? Or is it just for the super rich tech people?
Right. But look, things change fast in the tech world. Something that costs a fortune today could be everywhere tomorrow.
Think about it. Remember when cell phones were a big deal, let alone one that could browse the web and watch movies?
Exactly.
So who knows what'll happen with these AI assistants? Maybe they'll be like, our phones, everyone's got one. Or maybe, I don't know, something even crazier.
That's what makes all this so cool. This whole transcript, this is just a tiny peek, like one person trying out what could be the future.
It's like we're standing on the edge of something huge. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. But here's a little something to think about. As you go about your day using all this tech we have, ask yourself this. How far are we, really, from a future where AIs are just part of life?
What possibilities are you excited about? What worries you? Because that future, it's not being decided by some big company. It's happening right now with every question we ask, every line of code.
It really is up to us. And that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.